right. Hopefully you guys can see everything and hear everything all right. I can almost read chat from over here. Man, it's I'm getting old. It's hard to read the tiny little font in YouTube chat from, I don't even know, more than an arm's length away. I've never sat this far away from a monitor before. Good deal, good deal. All right, tonight I should have the steering wheel running. I should have actually a joystick if I get into anything that uses a loader. Although it seems like that's hooked up to walking, which is really awkward. But yeah, we're going to be jumping into things. And yeah, oh yeah, I'm staring off into space. Hang on, hang on. We can fix that too. Transform. Flip. Here we go. Now we're looking good. Okay. So, like I said, this has been an all-day adventure. I had the day off today because, well, I had all kinds of stuff going on. I had to take the dog to the vet. The kid had a half day. Had parent-teacher conferences. It was just a lot of fun. But then I spent almost all afternoon or all evening working on finally getting my steering wheel set up and some of that kind of stuff. And I thought I had it set up, and then things just started falling apart about right after I posted that I was going to stream tonight. So we'll test it live. That's what live streams are for, right? Welcome to chat, everyone. We've got Perma's modding in here. We've got Living on a Player. Tim, good to see you, man. John, always good to see you, sir. Argzian chat, good deal. Get the phone notifications turned off. Dusty Fox, how you doing? All right, well, since we missed the episode this morning because I was really under the weather yesterday, we're going to be jumping in here and running some of our seeding here on Edgewater because I don't want to get too far behind on things. And nope, that's the wrong button. There we go. I don't have a lot of seed left here, but we're going to see how far it's going to get us before we have to run up and buy some more. I do still have manual gears set up on here, which will be really interesting with the joystick and pedals here. Normally the manual gears isn't a problem because it's right here on my right hand side. Oh, we clipped it. But here it's a bit of a problem because I'm using the joystick and the keyboard, I'm using the what is it? The steering wheel, and everything is just a little bit awkward right now. You know, I played Farm Sim for years, and I didn't know you could use the middle mouse button to rotate things that you were carrying in your hand. Embarrassing, I know, but learn something new every day. Alright, let's see if we can avoid completely tipping that auger over. Oh my goodness, this is going to take some getting used to, folks. Alright. Oh man, so we don't have a crash counter tonight, which is really unfortunate because we're going to have more crashes than usual. The crash counter did not make the setup because the button on my stream deck is pointing to my PC, and we're streaming through a separate PC that's sitting over here. So this ginormous monstrosity behind me is my actual gaming PC. And this is the very first time I think I've ever done a multi-box stream. So lots of technical things going on tonight. And I've got another camera that I was planning on setting up here for like the wheel and the joysticks and stuff, but that's just too much hassle. So you guys will have to keep track of the crash counter for me tonight. Mr. Junt started at your new office this week. Very nice. How are you liking the East Coast? Let's see here. So I had joined these two. I can't see anything here. Let's go in cab. Whoa. All the settings are a little bit off here. I've got a much larger PC here too, so right, a much larger monitor in front of me here, so it's rather interesting to look at everything. Here we go, now we're in cab. So I joined these two fields together, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to start working on this field. Let's go. We need a game crash counter. Yeah, that's probably right. Why? Well, this fruit can't be planted in April. What's going on? We were planting just fine. Peas, lentils. Oh, canola's a May crop. Well, that's fun. Oops. I will just have to jump ahead a couple of days. Oh, nice. The 4NF16 manufacturing contact. That's got to be a lot of fun. Trio Gaming, how you doing, man? All right, we're good. We'll just go forward a couple more days here. I'm trying to make sure all my settings look okay over here on the other monitor while we're jumping ahead. VR's in Minnesota, always good to see you. Hope the family's well. And here we go, we're into May now. So this should just work at this point. There it is. All right. Now, the original plan when I was going to record this episode was, let's see if Courseplay will work with this giant setup. But since we just got a steering wheel set up tonight, the plan is let's see if I can do everything with the steering wheel tonight and see how much trouble I get into. The goal with setting all of this up like this is that I'd love to start using the wheel for all my videos and stuff. I hate how jerky the steering is with the keyboard. And so we're going to go for a little bit smoother motion, try and increase the realism over time. Obviously not tonight. Tonight we're going to just be trying to keep this thing in the field. We're going to jackknife it. Or hit a tree. Or both. All right, well, we're definitely off to a great start here. What is that? Crash counter number 3 tonight? I just gotta sneak past that tree. It's not like this is expensive machinery, so I'm sure it handles going down in those creeks just fine. It's all good. Okay. Well, I sure picked a nice curvy field to try and learn how to drive with the steering wheel and read chat from across the room here, but that's all right. We'll get there. My patience with those fields and the size of the equipment would not last long. I have to say that's probably the biggest reason why we jumped into some big upgrades here, is that while this is a standard size map, the fields feel pretty large, and given that I just combined some of them, they feel even larger. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how fast we can knock out the acres with this big setup. I find if I can pay really close attention, I can more or less handle this based on the last couple of fields, but based on tonight's performance, I should probably hire a in-game farm sim worker and they'd probably do a better job. There we go. Yeah, I had the 40-foot case precision drill on here in the previous season, and quite honestly, that was the appropriate sized piece of equipment for a farm like this. But I don't know. I'm playing in Canada here. I wanted to give some of this larger Bourgault equipment a go around. We've got it now, though. I'm going super slow, though, so let's see if we can find some gears that work a little bit better here. Because I think I can get up to 9. Let's try one more gear, see what that does. 10. Okay, now I'm going too fast for comfort. 12th gear. Tree. That's all good. Nobody saw that. And... oh, fence. Yeah. Turn, 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 turn. Oh, I got it. Look at that. Look at that. Not quite like a pro, but not the worst job I've ever done. Oh, and then I'm still going to go into the fence. Look at that. I got at least a good foot there before I would have hit it. Invisible colliders. That's what I blame. Okay, let's see now if all my Stream Deck stuff is going to work from the other computer to over here. Oh, look at that. It is. We're going to get GPS. Yay! John, do you see a new chair brand? So I've actually had this. It's a racing setup that I've had for probably since before I started doing YouTube, if I'm being honest. And I've just, oh no, I've just never gotten a chance to really use it. And so it's got all of the setups on it for, I bought it when I wanted to start playing ATS. And I had some racing games and some other driving simulators and stuff that I wanted to play at the time. And then I didn't like this part when I was trying to green screen myself out because my desk was sitting in a different area. And so this, I didn't like the part that wraps around my head very much for streaming. But for racing and driving, and honestly even for playing farm sim like this, it's really comfortable. The back adjusts. I've got a really nice padded pillow behind my back, and the seats really angled well for using the pedals and stuff. So I really like it. It's just huge. It's I think it takes like 5 feet of depth to get it set up. And I've got, I don't even know, I think a 42-inch TV on here. I didn't actually buy this TV. It was something that I picked up from an office. I was shut down at one of the companies I worked for. It was like, hey, does anybody want these old Sony flat screens out of the conference rooms? I'm like, I'll take one. So it's a nice setup, but it works. It's taken me a little bit to get it all up and running here finally. Oh no, the fence again. I almost had it. Not really. Okay. But what I'm realizing right now is, unlike when I play with the keyboard, I need to set up some of my controls for manual gears and stuff over on my right-hand side, and maybe even figure out if I can hook that up to the gear shifter would be really awesome. Because right now I'm having a hard time figuring out where my controls are. But outside of me crashing into everything, I'm really enjoying the getting back into the steering wheel setup here again. So I could definitely get used to this. We're purposefully going off into the grass a little bit extra to get rid of all that old crop from the previous year, so that we don't have the same issues I had last time around with picking up a different crop type with the swather. My steering wheel does have pedals, but I'm looking to I use the manual gear shifting a lot when I play. For whatever reason, I just prefer to have gears, and maybe now that I'm playing with foot pedals, I'd just switch over to the quote-unquote easy mode or the hydrostatic mode for everything. But my brain is wired to hit those gear buttons over there on my normally my numpad, but my numpad's way over here now, and That's an unnatural reach for me. What is it? Alt-L to get rid of those lines. Now I'm down to 15 bushels of canola seed here left. So we are going to have to refill this thing at some point. I'm kind of hoping I can get back to the other half of this field and refill, but I guess I could always just drive the semi out here into the field if I need to. Are they like bike pedals or car pedals? I don't think I could bike the Versatile here. I'm also trying to figure out a good way to control my camera while we're doing all of this with the steering wheel. This is where like a Track IR or one of those Tobii eye tracker things would be kind of cool, I think, because then I could just kind of glance around a little bit, although it might be annoying when I look over to see chat. I suppose it might not work out so great for streaming. Hey Sniper Steve, how's it going, dude? Always good to see ya. Kyler, this is the best map. I have really enjoyed playing on this map, I will agree. It has been one of my favorites in Farm Sim 22 so far. Alright, here we go. We're going to put it way out into the ditch here, I think. Maybe? Oh no, Courseplay, what are you doing to me? Hang on. Courseplay on a new vehicle. This is one thing I hate about Courseplay. Every new vehicle you buy, you have to come in and disable this open HUD with mouse setting. My goodness. Alright, I'm stuck in a tree. We gotta fix it. Tried to read chat. Yeah, I'd love to see... Oh, no. Stop, stop, stop. That's unfortunate. Okay. I would love to see official VR support for Farm Sim. I tried the unofficial, like, third-party tools that you can use with any game, and it just did not work very well here for Farm Sim. Oh my goodness, we are so stuck into stuff today. Nope. I am not qualified to drive an air drill, just for the record, in case anybody was wondering. Not something I've ever had the opportunity to do, nor should anybody provide me with that opportunity. I know I've got a few people that have invited me to come out to their farms this spring during planting season. I'm more than happy to ride around in the cab all day long. You do not want to let me drive one of these things. My Farm Sim performance will likely not be too far off from real life here. Did I get a new office? The room looks different. I rearranged the room because, well, my working situation has changed quite a bit over the last couple of years here. And so I do about 50% of my time I spend on my own projects and things, and then I'm working for Squad Built on American farming with the other half of my time. And my wife and I have kind of switched roles a little bit where my workday ends, well, the daytime part of my workday ends at 3 p.m. when I get off and go take care of the kid, get him off the bus and stuff like that. My youngest is in kindergarten now. And so he and I hang out in the afternoons and, you know, do some stuff around the house. So I make dinner, that kind of stuff, which has been kind of a fun change of pace for me since I spent the first half of my life here traveling a lot for work and always being gone and stuff like that. So I've really enjoyed having kind of more of a getting to stay home and hang out with the kids, and she's getting to go off and do more of the travel type stuff lately. So that's been a lot of more fun for us to switch roles a little bit. So she's in New York this week actually. So it's been a little bit of chaos with the kids and everything around on my own. But as a result, long story to tell you why the office looks different is I moved my desk around and put this into the corner so that I could hang out with the kid. And so his computer is actually the streaming PC right now. And so he's got essentially my old gaming PC set up. And he comes down here and hangs out with me and you know, we have fun all day. And I have made a royal mess of this now. Stop looking at chat and running into trees. We're going to blame chat. That's what we're going to do. It's because I'm looking at chat that I ran into the trees. I'm going to move the tractor over now. And then I should be able to move this thing over. Oh my goodness. There. Alright, we're almost done with the headland, folks. I apologize. This has been my single-handedly worst driving in Farm Sim to date. McKnight Gaming, how you doing, man? I saw you released some tanks earlier today on the Discord server. Excited to give those a shot here soon. Oh, seriously, I'm gonna hit this tree again. All right. Chat is the new gym. There you go. Epic. Hey, Kedrick, what is the crash counter? So, I don't have a crash counter tonight, unfortunately, which is, maybe it's just me trying to save face because we're going to crash more tonight than I have in any other stream in history. But I moved to a 2-box streaming setup tonight, and it didn't go well, and I didn't get everything set up before the stream in time. So the crash counter button is here, but it doesn't do anything. Oh my gosh. I'm going to try and back out of this one a little bit before I fold. And so because I moved to a 2-stream setup, half of my stuff that I used to control in OBS on my Stream Deck doesn't do anything anymore because OBS is on a different computer. And that has caused all kinds of fun times here tonight. Come on, pull on out. It's just not going to happen. Oh. But I guess we'll get all of the painfulness out of the way in one live stream here. There won't be any record of how many times I've crashed, and hopefully, moving forward, future live streams and videos will have a much better driving experience. Kyler, I did see the new Kilbros carts come out. That's pretty awesome. Hey, I didn't run into a tree or quite jackknife at that time. I'm so proud of myself. And I've got 2 bushels of canola. So what I'm going to do is try and clean up this little corner here, and then we'll go get some more seed. Trio, me driving big equipment is you driving the 3-meter stuff. Yeah, the tiny stuff I find super painful to drive as well, just because, you know, you end up overlapping even the slightest bit, and it's like you're not even doing any work at all. All right, here we go. So rather than run into this tree, we're gonna fold it up and spin around. I've got 2 little missed bits here that are gonna drive me nuts. So I'm gonna try and hit them, even though I know it's gonna be a complete and utter disaster. But I've got less than a bushel left here in the hopper. We might as well get the last few of these seeds out. I think part of my struggle is this, the drawbar on the Bourgeois actually pivots as well. And so I just haven't quite wrapped my head around how the implement is going to react when I start turning. I can't believe I can actually turn all the way back into it either. That's pretty cool. All right. We're not quite hung up on ourselves. We got everything. We're going to move. Luke Gill, how you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Martin, it's a good thing there's no crash counter tonight, that's for sure. I'd get tired of hitting the button. Hey, Mr. Simulation, how you doing, man? Let's see here. I'm going to try and get the semi out here. Now, the, what do you call it? The I have that drive over auger that works really well with the semi. But what I'm wondering is, does this thing have controls with the mouse? Nope, that's the, that must be doing something on the versatile. Oh, yep, it is. Okay, whoa. Okay, that's the versatile. It's not the seed drill. And so rather than try to monkey with driving the semi underneath the hopper on this thing, which has always been a disaster for me, we're going to run this right back up into the yard and use the drive over. That's going to work out so much easier. And we're right next to the yard anyway, so we might as well. Give me a chance to try and navigate this thing through the yard without crashing into anything. The only thing is that this auger's on the opposite side from the other one that I was driving around. So I've got to figure out the best place to put this to fill it up. Somewhere like this ought to work if I can get that semi in behind us. And I'm trying to look and see what's in here. I think that's the seed. So I'm going to shut this down right here. Apologies, my mouse has about 2 inches of free space over here to move, so I've got to kind of jerk it around a little bit. And then this thing is going to come right over here. And its movement, I can get it into it and move it, but its movement options are really only to adjust it left and right. I can't really move it forward and backwards, so I got to kind of put it into place. And we got to drive up to the co-op and buy some seed, it looks like. I can't remember if I've got manual attach on here. I do. Let's drop that off. And let's go. Oh, I've got an auto drive course to get to the bulk seed point. That'll be nice. Man, I have to say, I still love this truck from Northwest Mods and Edits. It's got to be one of my favorite trucks in Farm Sim so far. The sounds are just epic. I need to get out of here, so I'm going to try and squeeze over this drive over here real quick. Whee! Here we go. Luke fixing to set up course play to run all night while you sleep. Maybe I'll wake up in the morning without a tractor flying off the map. That's, maybe. Depends on the map, I guess, but I have found a lot of them are... You're going to have a problem eventually. Oh, well, I guess we got the steering wheel. Let's go in cab here. Oh, my goodness. We need a little bit more field of view here. There we go. We got it. Oh, let's get around the curve before I try and reach that. Forgot to update my dead zone in Farm Sim when I hooked all the new controllers up, so I've got like 10 or 15% before I actually make any steering adjustments here on the steering wheel. And I do apologize if I'm missing some chat tonight. Like I said at the beginning of the stream, it's a good 4 or 5 feet away from me here, and my eyesight's not quite what it used to be. Oh, nice. Sniper Steve, you're combining on this map? Yeah, this is I don't know, this has just been a fun map for stuff. I'm excited to do more jobs manually on this map because of all the curves and stuff. It's just so much fun to drive around and do stuff. The early days of Farm Sim 22, canolas were so little. Now it's a good crop to grow. Yeah, man, I guess I don't really remember the early days of Farm Sim 22 very clearly at this point, but canola's always been a pretty good cash crop, I feel like. Let's see here. Trying to remember which one is the seed fill point. I think it's this first shed right here. Lime? Fertilizer. I was wrong. It's the other shed. That's alright. Luke Gill, I still can't get over how detailed the interior is on this Kenworth. Oh yeah, for sure. It's such a great looking truck. And the gauges work too, which is always fun. I don't know how many bushels this air drill is going to hold. We didn't use as much as I thought we would use. So I don't know if that I want to get this whole thing full. Maybe I'll get like, I don't know, 50%. We're really burning through the money. Hey, Illinois farmer, how you doing? Alright, I think that's going to be enough. If I use that much seed, I'll be shocked. Alright, I gotta see if we can make it all the way back in cab without crashing into anything. Yeah, I tried that permas, and for whatever reason, the Control Plus didn't work in the streaming window when I tried to zoom in on the web browser, because it has all these like weird panes and stuff. Got multiple people playing on this map right now. Nice. Is that Nico Motion? What's my favorite tractor brand? I've been primarily... Oh, I just missed my exit. Oh well, we'll go around. I've been primarily a John Deere fan all my life because that's what I grew up farming with. However, one of the fun things about working on American farming is that I've gotten to work directly with several other brands now. And I have to say, my brand loyalties have definitely not shifted, but I would say that I don't feel like I'm just a one brand guy anymore. I've really been enjoying getting to work with Case IH. We also have another major tractor brand that we've been getting to work with, but I don't think we've announced them yet. So I think we've announced that we have one coming, but not who they are. So stay tuned. I think that announcement's coming out soon. RZ, you use the pop-out chat, and then you can zoom in. Ooh, that might work out. I do normally pop it out. That would actually help me out a lot, I think. Is this my road? I think this is my road. I'm getting confused between this map and UMRV a little bit on where things are at. To the red X's. Oh, this thing's got all the power in the world. I just need to shift down a gear or two. Yeah, this is the biggest part that's awkward. I need to make the gear shifting. Oh, I wonder if the gear shifting by default is the paddles. Oh, it is. I've got paddle shifting. We're good, folks. Oh my goodness. I might be able to drive, well, I don't want to call this driving better, but drive more smoothly. However, not having a camera look thing on my steering wheel is actually kind of a drawback. Now where? Oh, this is my field. Okay, but we're parked up in the yard. I got it. I'm getting used to it. The fact that I figured out I've got gear shifting on my steering wheel setup is a win right now. I would love if I could adjust my dead zone settings while I was in game, though. Having to exit all the way back out to the main menu is a little painful. Farmer Tech 51, how you doing? What kind of chair is this? So I've moved over to, it's actually a full racing cockpit setup where I've got a steering wheel and a shifter and the whole 9 yards. And so it comes with this big monster of a chair, which I've not always been a fan of this part of the chair, but the seat itself is actually incredibly comfortable and helps me with my posture quite a bit, as long as I don't hunch over to reach the keyboard and stuff. So it's been pretty cool. I've had it for a couple of years and I just haven't had a chance to set it up and use it until tonight. I spent, I don't know, a good 3-4 hours trying to get this whole thing set up. Alright, I'm moving that Bobcat out of the way so that we can get this tractor in here. Now, yeah, I've got the joystick plugged in, but it's apparently not set up. So that's not doing anything. Okay. Well, we'll get it going one of these days. One day at a time, folks. I have kind of a personal goal of each week making some, incremental improvement to my recording or streaming setups. And, the last few weeks it's actually been focusing on editing techniques and making my workflow for creating videos faster so that I can put more content out. Because what I'm not sure everybody knows, I have been recording videos and putting things out on 2 channels, and on top of, for the most part, staying up with 7 videos a week here on the Farm Sim channel. I've got another channel called Ketter Builds, where I play survival, base building, crafting type games. And that's been a lot of fun. But I don't put out quite as many videos over there, but I've been trying to get up to, I've been at 3 videos a week. I'm trying to get up to 5 at some point. Why is this flashing on and off so much? Seed is not accepted here. It definitely doesn't like something here. Let me try and put this thing back up for a second. I'm noticing this whole thing is like sliding ever so slightly. I've had a little bit of trouble with this trailer sliding around on me. That's rather annoying. Huh. What is going on here, folks? Let me try and just shift this around ever so slightly. It's like as soon as I start unloading, it slides and then it stops. Like, why is it moving? Been spending time on the Titanic in VR. That sounds like fun, Farmer Tech. trailer's moving here, and that's not working for me. It's like every time we try and do something with this, it has a problem. Let me spin around and see if I can get a little bit further away from the inside. Maybe it's just a hitbox thing. VTOL VR is great. Example of how simplified the controls can be. Yeah, I've had a little bit of fun with my VR setup. I've got a room scale VR in here, and I have definitely had some fun playing around with that in the past. I think Farm Sim would actually work pretty well with a VR setup at some point. Let me just double check that the seed has been going into this thing. Yeah, we're definitely getting seed in here. Well, I don't know what to do about this. This was broken before. We've done this before. This is how I got seed in there in the first place. It would be one thing if I could just dump the seed out of this trailer into pallets and then we could load it up, but I don't know if I can get the seed out of this thing if I can't get it to stay over the hopper here and keep dumping. It's like as soon as it starts dumping, the trailer slides forward a little bit and it kicks it out of the zone. As long as it's not moving, it seems fine. I don't know if this is like something that broke in the 1.9 patch, because all of this was working last time I was on here for the previous episode. I'm going to try and get one more round in here like I was doing before. Then we'll give up on this, and we'll just plant with what we've got, because we've got a bit in there, and we'll see what happens, because that's just not working. I could dump it out and use a Bobcat bucket to scoop it up. I could if I had a Bobcat bucket. That's definitely true. All right. Let's just get back on the road here. I've had enough frustration for a few minutes. I've had all kinds of problems with the 1.9 patch. I don't know, I get really frustrated because there hasn't been a single patch that's come out that hasn't broken something major in the game. We lost all of our bales in our bale enclosures on the multiplayer servers because the patch completely hosed the bale storage mods that we were using. And so that was fun. Had to dig through XML files and recover our bales manually and reload them in. It was just a giant mess. I could try and drive over this. The problem is that this Bourgault auger has a big collider box on it, I think. And so, and I can't adjust the auger with the mouse to move it into position, so it's just a giant mess. But we might try that one when we come out here to refill. Justin, you should go visit Mike Mitchell this spring. That would be fun. I don't think he'd let me anywhere near his equipment, though. No, I've had an invite from somebody close enough by to go visit to come out this spring and hang out with them while they go through planting season. So I can't wait to jump out there and check it out. I think they've got a brand new planter this year, too. So we're just gonna wing this part of the field here, and then I guess I have a GPS track, but It doesn't make a lot of sense. I was going to say it doesn't make a lot of sense to go back and forth on a straight row here, but we did combine those fields. It's a little bit longer than it used to be. But now I'm facing this way and I don't want to go back, so here we go. We're going to just take this part of the field now. I apologize, I've been fighting off a head cold the last couple of days, so I feel like I'm going to start getting a little nasally tonight. Mike is just a half hour away from you. Oh, nice. There's a massive lack of cotton harvesters for FS22. Interesting. I mean, there's a few. I guess I don't know how many cotton harvesters are really out there. That's not really a crop that I've followed much in real-life agriculture. No, nobody here in Michigan's running a big Bourgault air drill like this, I don't think. Nope, I'm watching the fence and not watching the tractor. My goodness. All right, now we're getting somewhere. I use this seeder on FS19 on the Millennial Farmer map? Maybe. I didn't do a lot of air drilling on that map. I was mostly using a planter. You see a few of these out in Montana? Nice. Illinois farmer, you'd like to see some longhorn cattle in a farming simulator game. Oh, nice. That's an interesting idea. Maybe a Texas map to go along with the longhorn cattle. There you go. We'll leave the tree in view for a second. Oh no, I got the air drill up so that nobody can see if I jackknife or not. Just assume I didn't. You think they're only going 3 to 4 miles in an hour with these big drills? I don't know about that. I've seen them pull some of these big air drills pretty fast. I don't know about 11 miles an hour, but I've seen them go pretty fast. They're definitely built to cover a lot of ground. A Southwest U.S. style ranch map with longhorns would be awesome. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. I know in FS19 there was a big Texas map that was set up for cattle. Average around 3.5 to 5. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, I'm trying to figure out which way to go here. I want to catch this little nub, but I also don't want to be going back into that corner where I won't be able to get back out. Same with this corner, but this one's a little bit wider. I think I can just hug to the left a bit here and then swing wide to the right. Oh, I got it all. We're doing some goofy driving here just to make sure I get all those bits and pieces, because it'll drive me nuts otherwise. Yeah, go away from the trees. They're calling me. Trio Gaming, do I know the Tactical Farmer? Yeah, I've been in a few of his live streams and stuff. He seems like a cool guy. He'd reached out to me a few times to collaborate on some content, but I think he's on the West Coast, and I just never had a good time slot for he and I to get together and do something. But one of these days I'm going to start doing some more things with other content creators. That's one of the things I love about the farm sim community is, for the most part, the content creators really seem to get along well. I love that a lot of us are always helping each other out and doing different things. I know all the guys on my multiplayer community server have really enjoyed the fact that we're competing with ArgZ's multiplayer server on the Western Australia map. That's been a lot of fun. Most people don't understand how big these drills really are. Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, is this thing is absolutely ginormous. I got to drive a 9R for the first time, what was it, last fall? Yeah, and man, those things were huge. Like, as somebody who, before that, the biggest tractor I'd driven was like a 4850. Getting into something like a 9R, I mean, that thing's like taller than a house. That was a lot of fun, but it's also very intimidating, and playing around here in Farm Sim, it just doesn't give me a good perspective for how big these pieces of equipment really are. Fast Ag on YouTube have some videos on his seeder like this one. That's cool. Alright, let's see here. I'm losing track of what we're doing and where we're going here, folks. Let's get spun right around and see if we can wrap up the rest of this in, well, it might take more than one pass. Let's find out. I think I've got GPS set up for this, though. Perfect. There we go. Just a little bit to clean up. Space Invader, have to be honest, FS22 scale is off. Oh, for sure. I've noticed that, oh man, I've noticed that a lot of the vehicles seem to be underscaled compared to like the character model. The Steigers are up there as well. Yeah, they are huge. Yeah, actually, that was something that we've spent a lot of time on here recently, is making sure that the scaling on all of our models in American farming is accurate. It's been a lot of fun to see all these different pieces of equipment, and then you know, try to get them as close to reality as you can within the confinement of a video game, and a mobile video game for us on top of that. But I don't know, it's been a lot of fun to put together these different tractors and pieces of equipment and stuff and see it all come together. If someone made a mod to shrink the character, it should fix some of the problems. Yeah, I feel like if the character got shrank, you know, 10-15%, it would probably feel more accurate. Now I see a little tiny sliver way back there. Why am I missing some? Did I adjust the... oh, this is where I had to adjust for the fence. I'll clean it up when I come back. The whole point of GPS is so I don't have to come back and clean up little bits and pieces. I think what I'm gonna do is come over here and try and hug the fence line and clean up this bit that I missed, and then I'll swing back and get that part in the middle. That's the plan. And turn. Lift up. And set down. This dead zone is killing me. That's the other part. not to keep complaining about the setup, but when you have to turn the wheel almost a half rotation to get it to do anything, it's not making for a very responsing driving situation here. Luke Gill, you've been playing on 50 field of view, gives you a bit more realism. Yeah, I've actually been playing on, what is this? I think this is 45 maybe? Let me adjust real quick. I normally, when I'm doing YouTube videos, yeah, here we go, I play on 40. And what that does is help make sure that I don't zoom out too far from things. And also it frames things in a much less distorted way. Makes for a lot better screenshots and stuff too. But normally I play, or I think I default to 45 most of the time. But when I'm doing the videos, I usually jump in and set it to 40. I think when I play, I usually prefer a much wider, like a 60-ish or a 65 field of view. When I get into vehicles, I always change it to 65. Illinois farmer, you want to talk big tractor, get the big bud? Yeah, actually, I'm really excited to see that they're building big buds again. That's it's cool to see that that isn't going to be just kind of an old brand that died out, that they're actually making new ones now. Alright, we're going to try and figure this out. I'm trying to figure out what the best way to tackle this field is. I don't even know. I don't think going back and forth either way is necessarily longer or shorter at this point, so let's just turn back into the row and start tackling it. We're definitely going to have plenty of seed. I way overbought the seed, unfortunately. That's alright. It was only $10,000 or $11,000. Trio Gaming, Big Buds that were Dirty would call Big Muds. The Welkers just put a rebuilt fuel injectors into one of theirs. Yeah, those guys are crazy. They've rebuilt so much of their stuff on their own. They do so many cool modifications to their equipment. It's been really fun to watch their channel. They're really cool guys. I got to hang out with them for a couple of days at the Farm Progress show back in September, and that was a real treat for me. They're some of the most genuine people I've ever met. I've met a lot of people, and it's like, oh, they're, YouTube personalities don't always match up with real life, but the Welkers, those guys are just good, wholesome guys. King Randy, how you doing, man? There is a Farm Progress show every year, but I think it alternates location between, is it Iowa and Illinois? I can't remember where the other location is. Yeah, I don't think they're making very many of the big buds. I'm sure it's one of those things where they have to make sure there's a demand for it, and building a tractor takes a lot of work. I think it's some company in Georgia that's putting them together now. Well, Farm Progress Show was in Iowa this year, so I think it's going to be in the alternate location, or last year. The last Farm Progress Show was in Iowa, so I think the next one is going to be, I want to say it's Illinois, like just outside of Chicago, but I could be wrong. No, Zach Johnson wasn't at the Farm Progress Show, and the Larsons didn't make it down there either. But I got to hang out with the Welkers, Laura Farms, Cole the Corn Star, Brian's farming videos, a few other guys too. I just can't remember everybody right now. One of the fun parts of working with Grant is we got invited to hang out at the Farm Tuber events, and so I got to hang out and meet a lot of the different people that have farming YouTube channels. It was a lot of fun. Decatur, Illinois. There you go. That's where it's at. Thank you, Big Sky Farms, Decatur. Alright, let's see here. I'm going to try and get on a GPS track again here, so I can stop driving all over the place and get my straight rows back. Did I fight any kangaroos today? What? I have not been fighting the kangaroos. Although that reminds me, the zoo in the Metro Detroit area has a really cool area where you can walk around, and like kangaroos and stuff all jump around in the area with you. Like there's no bars between you or anything. It's really cool. Wish they could make a map based in Quebec, Canada. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've seen a Quebec map or not at this point. There's a lot of Canadian maps. I know they've got a few good British Columbia-based maps. Levi Farms, how you doing, man? Morgan, I wish that... Oh, that was... I read that comment. Haha. Cleaned up that little bit, and now I'm not in the right position to take my row back down. Oh well. Florida orange farms. How would you even do an orange farm in Farming Simulator? Although that'd be an interesting thing, it'd be to get orchard-based crops going. Now that they've got the what do you even call it, the vine-based plants where you're running between the rows of them and spraying them and doing stuff like that, it wouldn't be that big of a stretch to go into doing orchards next. Am I going to play the Manette Farms map? I might check it out. I haven't focused on any new maps yet because I've been so enthralled with the 2 series that we're running right now. But we will be checking out new maps. I usually like to try and stream 1 day a week on the multiplayer server, and then 1 day a week, excuse me, I like to reserve for trying out something new, whether that's a map or a mod or both. And so today's something new is a new streaming setup. So maybe next week we'll look around and see if there's some cool maps. It would be cool to have a rural city area with the tiny little fields in the city and the giant fields on the outskirts. There's a few different maps that have kind of smaller fields by the town and bigger maps outwards. I'm trying to think, like Farmville had a little town and some maps, or in some fields and stuff around. Alright, well, I've got this field completely seeded now at this point, I think. Let's just double check. Precision farming. I'm curious. So I've got this strip down the middle where the grass was that I don't get any precision farming data on. And I can't get it by coming in here and buying it either. I think I'm going to have to actually get a scanner to scan those areas at some point. Luke Gill, have I been using the FSG mod assistant, or have I been going into game settings? So I've checked out the mod assistant. This is a personal thing. I'm fundamentally opposed to downloading third-party applications made by someone I don't know personally, if they're not open source where I can look at the source, or they're a major brand, well-trusted company. And so I generally just personally have steered clear of those. But I've heard it works really well, so nothing against the Farm Sim gaming community. I know they put a lot of work into their tools and utilities. But I do have some of my own utilities. Being a developer, I kind of do my own things. And so I've got my whole setup to keep track of all my series and do all this stuff. And so that's not been something that I've personally messed with. And in fact, it's funny is they've got a Discord, what do you call it, a Discord bot, and it's like does almost exactly the same things as the one that I wrote for our community back in FS19. I do need to update mine to FS22 at some point, though. Alright, I'm going to move this out of the way, and then I'm going to see if putting this in a different location is going to help. Because we are kind of down in a low spot here. And I'm wondering if I put it up in a higher spot, if it's going to work better. And then if this doesn't work, I will attempt to drive it over the main auger there. Yeah, this is totally not going to work. Okay. So step one continued to fail. Let's do step two. And the only reason I'm putting it in here is because it's going to be easier because I can dump it out of a air cart, even though I can't dump it out of the semi. Let's see. Yeah, see, so I can't drive over it. So this is what I haven't liked about this is I don't get joystick controls to move it around like you would in real life, and I can't drive over it. So you have to do some kind of awkward, like back it in at a angle kind of a thing, and then it hits everything. It's just a giant mess. Time for a bigger yard, yeah. So super strength is the easy option here. What I'm wondering is if I fold it up and kind of knowing where it was supposed to go, if I can. Well, I don't want to drive on those crops either. If when I unfold it, if it'll just kind of go in under here. I'm pretty sure it won't, so let's try it. Yep, that's a disaster. Oh well, that's about what I expected to happen. Either way, we're now able to dump the seeds into here, so it's just that this trailer isn't working with that unload deal anymore. Yay, patch 1.9. I'm gonna get the semi out of the way here before I can fold the pipe up. And we've made a grave error in that we pulled all the way up here, and I don't think I can drive. I might be able to drive over those crops because they're still young, but I would prefer to back up a little bit and see if I can get spun around here. Oh, look at that. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. All right. And the other smart thing is I probably could have just pulled over here. I've got a lot more space up here that I can position things and whatnot. We're going to need a bigger sheds and things like that too. So at some point we're going to have to go shopping for one of the bigger farms on the map for sure. Get the dairy farm. I'm already doing dairy on UMRV. I don't think I could bring myself to run dairy on two different maps at the same time. That would just be too much for me. Let's see if we can put this thing back over here by the other trailer. It's a testbed stream for my new setup. Yeah, exactly. What was the map that Formal Pickle used in his Grandpa's Farm series? I don't remember what map he was doing there. Try to find a good camera angle here. There we go. Let's pull forward. I was trying to ease this trailer over a little bit, but I don't think it's going to happen, so I think we're just going to park it here. All right. Apologies. It's been nothing but learning how things work tonight. Do I get to subtract from the crash counter for that maneuver, getting the trailer hooked up on the first try? What if I got horses? I haven't actually done horses in Farm Sim yet. Maybe I should do that. You know, I know it's not going to do well as a series, but one of these days we're going to go and do like grapes or olives. I'm going to get a vineyard somewhere and we're going to try out all of that equipment. It's, you know, one of the big new things that came with Farm Sim 22, and I've never tried it yet, so. Have I enjoyed Middleburg so far? It's been a fun map. We've got 2 more episodes that we've already recorded for that map that I'm currently working on recording or editing. So let me look at the map here. We've now got this huge part planted as canola. I've got, what is this? Peas, lentils, and across the road there we planted some winter wheat, if I recall. I guess I haven't checked in on the winter wheat now that we've moved time forward a ways. This is starting to come up pretty good here. Nice. So this is in the, I don't know, growing stage. I don't know what that means. My expected yield is only 80%, probably because I have so many weeds in here. 89%. Yeah, there we go. So we've got a lot of spraying that we're going to need to do, which we haven't got the spraying attachment yet. I have, this thing has been on lease, and I think we're going to have to buy it to change the tires out, which is fine. We've got the lease to own mod, and we're going to pick up the sprayer arms for it as well, but I don't think we're going to jump into that tonight. It's something that we're going to have to work on here in the next actual episode. And I'm just trying to look around the farm here. I don't think there's a whole lot left to do here in the spring. I mean, I think the next step is really going to be, just be spraying. Let me look at our stock mod here. Our prices, I'm waiting for July to sell off our peas and our lentils. Yeah, we got a pretty big price delta there, and obviously they're both looking for the train here, but that's all right. Yeah, I think we're probably pretty well wrapped up tonight. I don't see anything else we're going to be able to do on the farm before we jump ahead into summer here and start spraying. I know it's been a little bit shorter of a stream than usual, but I appreciate everybody bearing with me in the beginning as we got the technical difficulties worked out. And we're going to be putting some more work into this setup. I'm going to watch the live stream back and see how the audio and the video and everything else works out. And we're going to make some improvements to the setup, obviously, so that it's a little bit easier for me to do this. But I think moving forward, we'll be streaming from over here. which has been a lot of fun tonight. And yeah, go check out Tactical Farmer. He's a good guy. He's going to be streaming here in just a little bit, so definitely jump over there and check him out. I love supporting the other YouTubers on the other farm sim YouTubers, I should say, especially the smaller guys that are up and coming. And it doesn't sound or look different from my other streams. Awesome. That's really encouraging because the mic is about, you know, 1.5 feet away from me here tonight, and I've got it like up in the air. So if that's coming across great, then I'm excited. I appreciate you guys always giving me some good feedback as well. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap up a little bit early tonight, and I'm going to go take some cold medicine and pass out because it's been a longer day than I expected, and I want to make sure I get over this cold so we can get some videos out here for you guys. We should have a UMRV video out for tomorrow, but I think it's going to be a lot shorter than my typical video, so stay tuned for that. But we got some new equipment on the farm in UMRV tomorrow, and then as always, hit that like button, helps me out a lot, and we'll catch you next time. That's all for today. Kedrick, out. Oh no, I can't turn the stream off on the stream deck. I'm here forever. Have a good one, Farmer Tech.